Hi there everyone, welcome to our mixed class. This week we're going to be covering Shim Sham variations, which I promised you a few weeks ago in my Shim Sham class. If you want to watch that, I'll link it down in the description. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be running through some core moves of the Shim Sham, and I'll be giving you a few variation ideas. This is just to get you started thinking about what variations you would like to include yourself. The great thing about the Shim Sham and about solo jazz in general is that it's really personal, and you can personalize it as much as you want to. So this is just to give you some ideas. So we're going to start off with a full break. Now this variation is one I see quite often, it's quite common. Now if you remember, I'll just run through the normal full break quickly. So we started off by stepping on our right foot on the 8, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's quite straightforward, it's just stepping. So now I'm going to introduce to you a slightly fancier variation on this, and it looks like this. 8, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's pretty cool. So we start off with the same footwork. So we step on our right foot on the 8, tap, step. So 8, 1, 2. Then instead of stepping on the 3, we hitch like this, and 3. So what we're doing is we're just hitching up our right foot and scooting our left foot forward just a smidge, like this, and 3. On the side, and 3. And so you'll end up with your right foot behind your left foot. So altogether, that's like this, 8, 1, 2, and 3. Then we pause for a beat. So we just keep our weight on our back foot, 4, and then we hitch again, a 5. So just the same thing, except we're hitching our left foot behind us and scooting our right foot forward a tiny bit. So altogether, that looks like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember that pause on the 4. Okay? Then, just to complete this, on the 6, we jump out. And on the 7, we jump our feet together again. Okay? So altogether, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now you have a pretty cool variation on your standard basic break. Another more straightforward variation you can do, which I like to pull out if I'm not feeling too fancy, but I'm feeling a little bit fancy, is you can do crazy legs on every step. Now crazy legs are just like when you step and you kind of flap your knees in and out as you step. It looks very silly, but you can add it on to the regular break with the regular footwork like this. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a very straightforward variation you can do. Throughout this video I will be bringing up crazy legs because you can add them onto basically anything that involves stepping on the beat. So they're a very easy variation to implement. Now I'm going to move on and talk a little bit about Tacky Annies. So just to recap, we covered Tacky Annies obviously in the Shim Sham video, and they look like this. Stomp off, Tacky Annie, 5, 6, stomp off. So the Tacky Annies themselves are just a case of tapping your foot behind you as you step. Now to jazz this up a bit, you can do your crazy legs like I suggested, that's one option. You can also add in a slide with your foot, kind of drawing your foot into you. The timing for that looks like this. Stomp off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then you stomp off again. So it's kind of drawing your foot until the 7 and stomping off on the 8. It's around the 7 that you transition. Not terribly good with my timings. Maybe just watch my feet if you want to be sure. But basically what you're doing is you're dragging your foot into you, and then at the last second you transition so that your weight is on your right foot, and then you stomp off. Now remember in my last video we talked about how the stomp off is you changing your weight to your left and then tapping on your right. So you don't end up with your weight on your right, the weight is on your left, but you just tapped with your right foot. Okay, so from the start that looks like this. Stomp off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stomp off. Okay, one more possible variation you can do that's very straightforward, is instead of doing Tacky Annies, you can just do heel digs as well. Heel digs are a pretty similar move to Tacky Annies. They have the same rhythm. Essentially, you're just, instead of bringing your foot back, you're bringing it forward. They have a different styling as well, and you can play around with that as much as you want. But at the core, it should look like this. So you stomp off, and then you heel dig forward, 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 then stomp off. So what you're doing is you're bringing your foot forward, and while you're doing that, you're kind of flashing the inside of your leg. I talked about this a bit more in my St. Louis Shim Sham video from a couple of weeks ago, so you should definitely go check that out as well. But yeah, basically you're just stepping forward, leading with your heel, flashing the inside of your leg. So if I'm facing the front, just to show you quickly, you start with a stomp off, heel dig, heel dig, heel dig, heel stomp off. So as you're coming in from that last heel dig on your left foot, you start the stomp off. So that was your Tacky Annies. Next we move on to our pushes, I believe. So there are a few things you can do with your pushes. Again, you can do crazy legs. It should look like this, which is pretty cool. So that's a very straightforward thing you can do. Now if you remember our basic pushes from last time, they look like this, starting by pushing forward on our right foot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we went into our breaks. Now the way to vary this up with twists is, instead of doing a kind of plain push forward, we start by twisting your right foot out the way. So twisting it to the right. And then you can use this as like a pivot for your foot to twist in the other direction. So that's like the equivalent of one of your pushes. Maybe it's easier if I demonstrate it. So you push and you push and you cross over and you push and you push and you cross over and you push and you push and you cross over. It might be easier if you're unfamiliar with swivels or twists or that kind of thing to just practice it on your own by twisting your feet back and forth like this. So just practice that without the pushes, and when you're comfortable with that, they should feel fairly natural to start integrating it into your pushes structure. So that's one variation you can do. Another nice one you can do is that the push actually leaves you some space to turn while you're doing it. I'll demonstrate that now. So you push and you push and you turn around and you push and you push and you turn around and you push and you push and you turn around. These can all be a little bit challenging when you're on carpet instead of like a smooth surface, but it is possible. And it's a very cool variation to do as well. It's particularly cool if you do it on the breaks. So once you've done your regular kind of standard pushes, do it across again, and then one more time, left, and then you turn around and you turn around on the break. So the last few variations I'm going to show you are for something called the half break. If you recall from the Shim Sham video, the half breaks look like this. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Typically in the Shim Sham, that involves dropping your weight onto your right foot on the 8. 8, 1, 2, and 3. So drop, change of weight, and then a kick, ball change. So that leaves a lot of room to play around, but I'm just going to show you a couple of options here. So one option for kind of styling, and I give credit to Sarah for introducing me to this one. I don't know where she got it from. It's, I think, called cracking the egg. And basically it's just a styling with your hands to kind of emphasize the half break. And basically when you do it when you transition, or when you drop your weight onto your right foot, you bring your hands down like this. Like clasp your hands together as fists, and then you kind of bring them down and like release them. And it's meant to be like you're kind of cracking an egg. It looks like this. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's kind of like quirky styling that you can do. One other option is that instead of staying like straight on as you do your half breaks, you can turn as you do them. I generally turn over my left shoulder, and it looks like this. So you drop, step, wait, change. So in one half break, you can make it all the way around if you want. In the Shim Sham, they are paired together, so you can do 2 turns like this. Drop, step, kick, pull, change, drop, step, kick, pull, change. So those are all of the Shim Sham variations I have for you today. I know it was a short one, but it is deadline season. So hopefully this can provide like a nice little break for you. You can stop working for 5-10 minutes and work on some Shim Sham variations in your bedroom or study space or wherever you are. I hope you're all staying well, and tune in next week for some more mixed classes.